Good afternoon, good evening, good night, good day to you. That's depending where you are in the world. I'm here live in London doing my nighttime devotion. The devotional is called Conflict and Courage. The title today, A Crisis in Israel. The scripture reading comes from Psalms 106, verse 19 and 20. They made a calf in Horeb and worshipped the molten image. Thus they changed their glory into the similitude of an ox that eateth grass. In the absence of Moses, the judicial authority had been delegated to Aaron, and a vast crowd gathered about his tent with the demand, "Make us gods, which shall go before us. For as for this Moses, we wot not what has become of him." The cloud, they said, now rested permanently upon the mount. It would no longer direct their travels. Such a crisis demanded a man of firmness, decision, unflinching courage. One who held the honor of God above popular favor and personal safety or life itself. But the present leader of Israel was not of this character. Aaron feebly remonstrated with the people, but his wavering and timidity at the critical moment only rendered them the more determined. There were some who remained true to their covenant with God, but the greater part of the people joined in the apostasy. Aaron feared for his own safety, and instead of nobly standing up for the honor of God, he yielded to the demands of the multitude. He made a molten calf in imitation of the gods of Egypt. The people proclaimed, "These be thy gods, O Israel, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt." And Aaron basely permitted this insult to Jehovah. He did more. Seeing with what satisfaction the golden god was received, he built an altar before it and made proclamation, "Tomorrow is a feast to the Lord." The announcement was heralded by trumpets from company to company throughout the camp. Under the pretense of holding a feast to the Lord, they gave themselves up to gluttony and licentious reveling. How often in your own day is the love of pleasure disguised by a form of godliness? A religion that permits men, while observing the rites of worship, to devote themselves to selfish or sensual gratification is as pleasing to the multitudes now as in the days of Israel. And there are still pliant Aarons who, while holding positions of authority in the church, will yield to the desires of the unconsecrated and thus encourage them in sin. Crisis in Israel. The reason is called a crisis in Israel is because they turned away from God. They took their eyes off God. And when you take your eyes off God, it's not your physical eyes. It's your mind. Where is your mind? Where is our mind. When we are not focused on God. That is the question for each and every individual. All of us. It is a very individual question. Only you can answer for yourself. Only I can answer for myself. And this one question. See, Israel, if we look at a crisis in Israel, a crisis in spiritual Israel, we are the spiritual Israelites now. Those who believe in God, those who believe Jesus, in the life and the testimony of Jesus. We are the spiritual Israel now. And there is a crisis in Israel because there's so much going on in this world, so many distractions, be it sports, music, movies, any form of entertainment, all forms of entertainment. Me, one of my biggest distractions is football. And this is something we, you, me, we need to pray to our Father about. These distractions that take us away from Him. We do not want to be building an altar to these idols we worship. Otherwise, we will end up swallowed up in the wilderness. And that we do not want to happen. God bless you.